unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Terence Bud Crawford is ordered to hereby fight Alexis Rocha. They have 20 days to get it all sorted out, or else purse bid. That's what I want to talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Ooh, we unpack, coming to you live. So it is now being reported. Reporter Jake Donovan, he was the first that I seen to actually put it on wax. According to his sources, basically, Terence Crawford is now in negotiations with Alexis Rocha and his management, which is Golden Boy Promotions, with the possibility of Terence Crawford fighting on Golden Boy Promotions through a multi-fight deal. As of me recording this video, nothing further has been declared. Terence Crawford, to my knowledge, hasn't said anything. There's no formalities or finalization involved. But just to give you guys the full scoop, like only I can do in the world of boxing, the WBO, and I have the PDF file, the WBO put out an actual order for Terence Crawford and Alexis Rocha, both of their representation. It has the proper letterhead and Team Crawford and, you know, their legal representation and everybody who's a party to those two fighters. And it says they have 20 days. They have, as of receiving this notice, which I believe came out today, says, please be advised that the parties herein have 20 days upon issuance of this notice to negotiate and reach an agreement for the WBO welterweight mandatory championship fight. So that would be Terence Crawford and Alexis Rocha. So if you know anything about boxing, this is already like common knowledge to you. If you're just learning the sport of boxing, subscribe to my channel. We're going to have another phenomenal year. And what that means is basically the two parties, Team Crawford, his legal representation, and Golden Boy Promotions at this point, Alexis Rocha, they can come to terms on an agreement amicably, meaning they set like the fighter purses, discuss the venue, who walks out first, all the terms of the fight. If they're able to do that within 20 days, you know, then they avoid a purse bid. In some instances, if you're pretty far along in the negotiating process and the 20 days expires, you can petition to the WBO and say, hey, we're almost to a deal. You know, we're almost to the point where the fighters have agreed, but we're not quite there. Give us a little bit more time, and they can postpone the purse bid maybe. But if you don't do that, then that means you have 20 days. If not, you have a purse bid. Purse bid is an auction style. The barrier to entry varies, but for this particular fight, the lowest you can bid to secure the rights of this fight is 200K. So 200,000. Meaning, if it went to purse bid and Crawford and his mandatory Alexis Rocha and the two sides do not agree, then 200K or better, you can bid on the fight, and then it's just like an auction. It's sold to the highest bidder, and then the highest bidder gets the rights to the fight. They get to promote the fight, host the fight, collect, all that type of stuff. And then they have to split up the payment per the WBO rules, because Crawford's a WBO champion, so on and so forth. So I don't want to get too much more technical than that. That's basically what's going on. They got 20 days to agree. If they don't agree, then they got to go to a purse bid. And in my experience, at least a fighter like Crawford, who's received big paydays, he's not going to want to be in a purse bid. Like, no fighter at that level who's on like the pound for pound list, got paid whatever he was getting paid with Top Rank and so on and so forth, that he's going to want to go, because I just mentioned to you, the lowest bid, the minimum bid for the purse bid is 200K. So if Golden Boy and another company are the only people bidding on that particular fight, because you have to understand that you got to look at the attractiveness of the fight and what venue would it be in, One selling point could be Crawford's a great fighter. Another selling point can be he's a WBO champion. But then you have to also look at the dance partner. Like, does he have a fan base? Could you put it in Texas? Could you put it in LA, Vegas? Does it make sense? New York? So you have to look at it from a business. And if you want to make money, then you got to see if it makes sense for you to host the fight. So that being said, if people don't find that fight attractive, then they're not going to splurge for it. They're not going to bottom line is I don't see for this particular fight, if Crawford fights Alexis Rocha, I think they'll get a terms agreed to amicably before a purse bid, because I don't think the purse bid would be good, because the minimum again is 200,000. So with 200,000, you would be able to secure the rights to fight if no one outbids you. And that's pretty low for a fighter like Crawford. Even though Crawford, as the WBO champion, would get the lion's share of money, if the pot is 250,000, Crawford's been making millions when he's fighting. So that's just probably not going to be unacceptable. Now, my thoughts. Listen, I've already talked about this. There's a picture that surfaced, and Terence Crawford was positioned, next to Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins. If you follow my channel, if you know, I've already talked about this concept and, suggested, what if Crawford is into doing business with Golden Boy Promotions? Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, former fighter and founder. He's done interviews saying that, hey, we would love to work with Crawford. We're Golden Boy is back, saying these types of things. And in this interview, Oscar De La Hoya said that Golden Boy would be able to offer a fight like Alexis Rocha and then Virgil Ortiz, and then try to make the Errol Spence fight. So it sounds like a succession plan. To me, this doesn't sound good. The same thing. I've always said Crawford is an amazing fighter. He's talent. He has determination and everything. I'm going to keep saying the same thing that I've always said. The one thing that is questioned is Terence Crawford's business savvy and his business acumen. And if he goes with Golden Boy, you would have to further question it, because I already see it a mile away. So basically, this is how it works. And if this fight happens, and if he does business with Golden Boy, let me show you in the fashion that only I could do, the great Ego Stradamus. Let me explain how this is going to work. And mark this video down and come back to it, because the great Ego Stradamus is always right. If Crawford works with Golden Boy and let's say does Alexis Rocha fight, I won't even talk about the reported multi-fight deal because that's his own thing. But if he does just the Alexis Rocha fight, this is what the Bud Buddies are going to say. They're going to say, oh, y'all said that Terence Crawford needed a representation. Oh, y'all said that Terence Crawford needed a promoter and he signed with Golden Boy. If this happens, so now you're still complaining. But so sorry, it doesn't work like that. Because it's not just that Crawford needs representation. Crawford needs the right representation. Meaning, like, basically representation that could put you in a position to secure the fights that fans have been demanding from you, right? Golden Boy can't really do that because at best, at this moment, as of me recording this video, they probably got a solid 2-3 names that you can fight, and only one of them would be probably decent, like in terms of selling. And that would be if Virgil Ortiz beats Amantis Stanionis. Maybe you can put that in Texas and generate some money. Maybe, I don't know. But that's where Virgil Ortiz is from. And I will give him credit if he could beat Stanionis, because Stanionis is a good fighter. I like that fight. That's a good fight. The only other really realistic options that Golden Boy in-house can provide is Alexis Rocha or Blair the Flair Cobb. And I mean, Alexis Rocha already got beat by Rashidi Ellis, so you're basically fighting Rashidi Ellis's leftovers. And Alexis Rocha stopped Blair the Flair Cobb. So look at the order. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really make sense. If Crawford fights Alexis Rocha and beats him, then there's really no reason to see the Flair fight, because Alexis Rocha, and it's not just about triangle theories, but Alexis Rocha stopped Blair the Flair like pretty violently, and that'll be similar to David Avocado. You fought David Avanesian, who had already suffered a knockout loss to Mean Machine, which is a guy that Terence Crawford knocked out. So you see the triangle theory. I don't see how this benefits Crawford at age 35, 36 years old to fight, quote unquote, other guys' leftovers, unless it's really top tier, like I would say Ugas or better, like a Ugas type of guy, a guy with some fan base, a guy with, a bigger name. So per usual, I'm not changing anything I've said. I mean, we'll wait and see. I'll leave it up to, time and wait for it to be announced, whatever direction that Terence Crawford goes in. He's going to have to post about it. It'll be reported, and then I'll make a follow-up. So I'm not, like always, I'm not going to do a bunch of additional speculation or speculate too much. I've already talked about my thoughts. I don't see Golden Boy really being the big fit. The obvious pick would be Al Heyman. Let's not beat around the bush. I don't got time for it. The obvious pick for Crawford, because this is what people were saying when he was with Top Rank. They were saying the obvious choice was link up with PBC, link up with Al Heyman, have him advise you, because the top guys that fans want to really pay to see you fight at 47 and 154 are predominantly with the Premier Boxing Champs PBC outfit. So any other decision outside of that is bad. Like, needless to say, Errol Spence, that's the number one fight that everybody wants. And I don't really see how Golden Boy can promise you. And here's the other thing, because I know how the Bud Buddies work. I've been in boxing long enough. In addition to what I said earlier, this is another thing that's going to come out if this plays out where Crawford does business with Golden Boy. It's going to play out like, oh, they can give you the Errol Spence fight because PBC and Golden Boy just worked together for Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. Completely different circumstance, and that can't be the talking point because everything's on a case-by-case basis. Ryan Garcia has like 9 million followers and a bunch of commercials and endorsement deals. He's younger, he's like 25 or whatever age he is. Tank's 30 or under, right? Completely different fight than Errol Spence, probably about 30-something, early 30s, and Crawford, who's 35, 36. Different fan bases. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just completely different. So just because DAZN and Showtime work together to make Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank Davis, people are saying that's a super fight. Listen, I'd love to see Errol Spence fight Terence Crawford. It's a super fight in the eyes of a boxing fan. But I do believe Tank versus Ryan currently is the biggest fight to be made in terms of commercial success, because they have such different fan bases and they have big fan bases, right? You see LeBron James and Madonna and Tory Lanez and different people coming out to Tank fights. Ryan Garcia, he has a lot of celebrity friends. He's on Twitch podcasts with Aiden Ross, and you know what I'm saying? They connect, especially to the young crowd and also just hardcore boxing fans. So different fights transcend just boxing, like Mayweather McGregor. Whether you like the fight or not, certain fights can transcend the immediate sport. Let me know how I did in this video. We will see what Terence Crawford decides, but that is the latest. What's for sure is the WBO did order him to fight Alexis Rocha, and according to Jake Donovan, his sources say that there's a multi-fight deal on the table, and the two camps, Team Crawford and Team Rocha, are currently negotiating to try to make the fight. So I can't wait. The day of, come back to the channel. I can't wait. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Best in the business. And I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter. color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.